Okay, it looks like we're live. Keeping our fingers crossed. I'm beginning to make sure it's going to show up on YouTube. So far, it's not going on there. I'm sure there's a delay. But in fact, it might be on there. It just might be my phone not showing it correctly. Okay, there we are. We're live. Today, I was supposed to have, and I don't know if she still may show up, but we did this live stream specifically for Christie Strickland. She had sent me an article regarding blood loss and how it affects decomposition. And she had some insight. So I'm not going to give up hope. I don't think I'm not going to say she's a no-show because, something could be happening. Things happen with our time frames and our schedules. So I'm going to give it a few minutes here. She has the link. She knows where to go. But in the meantime, I want to share with you guys the article that she sent. So maybe if she does still have time and pops in. Hey, hello, Hatsubia. Hey, Russell, how are you? But let me share my screen with you guys. First, let me make sure I have everything up and going, but we need to share the screen. Okay, I'm pulling up the article. Hi, Deb. And I believe this is the article that she was referencing. Hold on a second. Let me look real quick again to see what the article name was. Oh, that's right. That's right. Duh. Okay. I believe it's this one. And it's slowly loading. Yes, this is the article, and it's called Decomposition Rates Slow with Increased Blood Loss. And I'll link this down below after the live stream is over. I will link it on my YouTube channel, this article. But we read down here, the results suggest that increased blood loss may retard the progression of decomposition, writes Diane Cockle and Lynn Bell, the two authors from Simon Fraser University in British Columbia. About half of the cases, or 47.5%, showed notable degrees of blood loss, 17.9% with minimal loss, and 20.5% with moderate, and 5.9% extreme, and 3.2% total exsanguination. The cause of deaths were also cataloged, and the 46 variables such as height and weight, age, environment, debris on the body, coverings, insect activity, and even antemortem drug and alcohol ingestion were factored in, and the outliers are identified and eliminated using multivariate stepwise regression analysis. More blood loss was linked to decreased decomposition across the board. Now, that's what I find really, really interesting. And it's something I had never even stopped to think about when there's so many things going on. Again, hi, Deb. Hi, Ebb and Flow. So we know with the Crowley case, and let me pull up the autopsies reports, and I will share those with you as well. Let me share the screen with that. Okay, and again, you got to give me a second here because I'm new to this whole StreamYard thing. Oh, here we go. And hopefully you guys can see that. Let me wait to make sure it pops up on YouTube. Sorry, but this is still all new to me. There it is. Okay, yay. We will start with David's autopsy first. And what it shows here on David's, it says they were found partially decomposed. His was early to moderate decomposition. And again, on the external, early to moderate is evidenced by skin discoloration, marbling, slippage, blistering, and mummification of the left hand and feet. But what I want to take notice in here, and we'll cover this later, are the body cavities. It has green-brown decompositional fluid. Decomposition fluid is in the pleural, pericardial, and peritoneal cavities. The organs occupy the usual anatomic positions. That's highly important. We have to remember this. And then it goes on to list the different organs. The liver is intact. The spleen is intact. The pancreas is there. The right and left adrenals, or your kidneys, they're there. And what they weigh. The adrenal glands are there, the kidneys, and what they're weighing. The esophagus is intact, shows gray, white, partially autolyzed mucosa. Now, autolysis is the first stage of decomposition. So if the esophagus, the inside of his throat, is lined and only has partially autolyzed mucosa, that's telling us that this is very early forms and stages of decomp. But again, is that due to blood loss, like the article that Christie showed us? And Christie, if you're listening, I sent you the link on Facebook. You can pop in, and I will, if you're here, I'll join you here in a second. Now we're on to Camel's. Hers shows decomposition with marked disruption of the head, which we know. Now, Camel's is a little bit different. They really don't, with David's, it's early to moderate. With Ranya's, it's early to moderate, or maybe hers says moderate. I think hers says two different things, and we'll cover that in a second. But with Camel's, it just says this reveals decompositional changes. There's extensive bloating, skin slippage, and discoloration of the body surfaces. Now, that is still, again, the beginning phases starting into the second phase. So right around day 4. And I have an article which will cover the different stages of decomp as well. However, this is just, if I have time, I want to go over this section here where it talks about the blood on the left-hand sleeve. That was just for my own purpose. But here, again, all of them, lividity and rigor is absent. Now we'll go to her. The body cavities contain small amounts of decompositional fluid. The organs are in usual locations. Her heart is generally intact. The right and left lung are there. The liver is there. The spleen is there. The adrenals are there. The stomach contains fluid, so that's still intact. And again, I'm pointing this out for a reason. And then here on the microscopic level, it's showing you the level of decomp. It's at autolysis. And again, keep in mind, autolysis is the very first stage of decomp. Now, little Rania. Now it says she's partially decomposed. Now hers says here, moderate decomposition. And as we keep scrolling through, liver and rigor are absent. Now here, see, before, on the first page, it says moderate decomp right there. But as you get down further, where they really start to describe the autopsy, it says early to moderate is evidenced by skin discoloration, marbling, blistering, slippage, and partial mummification of the face, left hand, and feet. And as we go down here, again, it's the same thing with hers. And I don't want to really go through hers too much again, because she's just a little baby. But everything is intact with hers as well. Just real super quick. Let's see. Heart is there. Heart is intact. Liver is intact. The spleen is intact. So it's the same as with her mom and dad. Everything is still there and intact. Here, let me get back to StreamYard. And okay, let's remove that. And so what this is telling us, okay, Crypt Rick, if they were there for 3 weeks, would it say severe decomp. Yes, and we're going to get to that. That's exactly it. And everybody's saying hi in the chat, so I'm glad everybody's there saying hello. Yay! Christie has not shown up yet, so I don't know what is keeping her or why she has not joined me yet today. However, to get back to the topic, that is what I want to show you. Okay, where is it? I think that's the same article. And exsanguination is the complete draining of blood from a body. I wonder if there's a way. And again, I am sorry, guys. I am just learning how to do all of the StreamYard stuff. So it's taken me a bit on trying to figure out how to share everything without having to constantly go back and forth. Share the screen, share my screen. I'm going to go with the tabs. Here we go. The stages of human decomp. We'll start with there. And here again, stage 1, like I've told you guys before, it's the beginning stage, autolysis. And you saw on all of their decomp, their autopsy reports, it all states autolysis. So it's at the very beginning of decomp. Stage 2 is the bloating stage. Now, Kamel was the only one where it talks about where she has bloating. Greg and I are going to be doing a more in-depth discussion on the autopsies here real soon, so I don't want to go over that too much. But stage 3, where active decay, this is where the body really starts to break down. And this is usually around day 10, 7 to 10 is when you start to see the breakdown. And then the last stage, of course, is skeletonization. But the main part I wanted to show you guys here is stage 1 is the autolysis. That's where the body begins to break down and it kind of eats itself, so to speak. And according to all the autopsies, that is where the stage of decomp was on all of them. It was the beginning stages. Now, according to the article, it was saying that blood loss can have an effect on decomp. Now, when she sent that to me, I've done some research and some reading, trying to get a background on the information that these people were studying. There's not a lot out there, but the general consensus is the more blood loss, the slower the rate of decay. So people who are totally exsanguinated, all blood is drained from their body, will decay or decompose slower. Therefore, mummification may occur faster. So I think that was the point that Christie was trying to show here, because both David and Rania both had partial mummification. It wasn't full mummification. It was partial. It was only beginning to mummify on her hands, feet, and it said on Rania also on her head, on the left side of her head. But when I spoke with an ME about this, and I asked him, I'm like, okay, what would cause the mummification? Because at that point, we only had the autopsy reports. We didn't have any photos. So he's reading it. And he was explaining that also mummification can occur if the hands are touching something that's going to be absorbing the moisture out of the body. Like in this case, they were on a rug, or David's hand was closer to a book. Now, these materials, they wick the liquid away from you. Kamel, now she had socks on. So that's why he explained, his words, not mine. He explained that's why her feet probably did not mummify, although I would think that the socks would wick the liquid away as well. But I guess if I'm understanding him correctly, which I very could well not be, but from my understanding of what he said, is that they covered the feet, they protected the feet, whereas David and Rania's feet and hands, Rania's hand, were exposed to the elements and exposed to something directly. And that's why the mummification process started, as well as the fact is the hands and feet are thinner. There isn't as much muscle and fat tissue in there. So those are generally the first things to mummify would be the head, the hands, and the feet. There was something else I wanted to bring to you guys' attention. Here we go. Let me see if I can get this one to share with you guys as well, because this is another interesting. I guess I have to stop sharing that first. Oops. Stop screen. So now I have to share it again. Greg, I'm going to need you to show me how to do this. Yeah, okay, your chat started working again. Sorry, Rick. Poor chats. Okay, so I want to share a Chrome tab, and this one I want is called 9 Facts. That would be this one. Okay, and hopefully you guys can see this. I don't know what this one is. Hopefully I'm not deleting my face. Oh, well, if you do, it's all fine. And this one is where it's talking about the 5 stages of decomposition. And again, here is the first phase is called fresh. It's characterized by cell autolysis or self-digestion. And again, we saw in all 3, that's where they were at. The second phase being, meanwhile, resident anaerobic bacteria in the gut begin to break down cells, beginning the second phase of decomp or bloat. And we know, according to the autopsy reports, that's where Kamel was. She was at the bloating stage. As these microbes work away, gases begin to accumulate in the intestines and the surrounding tissues expand. The gases react with hemoglobin, a protein found in the red blood cells, producing a green pigment in the veins, or marbling, and the skin turns green, then black. So as this stage progresses, the body color will go from a green to a black color. We know that they weren't at the advanced stages of bloating because none of their skin was black, although there was a little bit of green. Now, during active decomp, or the third phase, tissues begin to liquefy and decompositional fluid seeps out through orifices. Now, we don't see any of that reported on Rania at all. Advanced decomp is when most of the soft tissues are gone and whatever skin is left turns dry and rubbery and the skeleton is visible. So again, I think that it's safe to say that they were not there for an extended period of time, although I think Christie, in the article that she provided, does point to maybe some blood loss could have contributed to the slowing down of decomp, but not enough to, from what we're reading here, it wasn't enough to say that the bodies were indeed there for 3 weeks. It doesn't slow it down that much. They still had blood in their bodies. It just had not ever been allowed to pool. Like, okay, what lividity is, and because there still seems to be someone who doesn't quite understand lividity. Lividity is the pooling of blood at the lowest point on the body. So wherever that body surface is touching the ground, for wherever the lowest point is where the blood will pool within the tissues. So it leaves, and it pools right there in those tissues. It leaves a mark. You clearly see indications of lividity. Now, none of them have lividity. Lividity, it's absent in every single one of them. That could be due to a few things. Exsanguination being one of them. However, the doctor doesn't state in any of the reports that they were exsanguinated. So, however, we do know that blood loss was suffered by all 3 of them, especially David and Kamel. David, you can clearly see on his clothes that he suffered a lot of blood loss. And bonjour. And so there was still enough blood somewhere in their body that the ME was able to get samples, to send those samples then to the lab to test against the tissue, the blood. Enough samples of blood were still left within the bodies that the ME was able to take those samples, send them to BCA, and then BCA could take those samples and then run them against their known samples that they had from Rania and compare that with the samples that they had taken at the crime scene. So was enough blood loss done so that they could say for certain that that was the cause of a slowing down and maybe the mummification? I'm not seeing that here, not in the case and not in the autopsy reports. I will concede that it's possible it may have contributed for a slowing down of a little bit, maybe by a few hours, a day, maybe, but not a lot. Hi, Star. And I really wish that, I'm going to see real quick here. Nope, she hasn't even picked up on the link yet. So, and this is why you always run the risk of doing things with people. I don't mind if people want to jump on. I don't mind if people have an idea. They want to throw it out there. They want to toss things back and forth. And she's had told me that she wanted to do a live and she would love to jump on. And that's great. We always encourage that. But this is kind of the risk we always run, that people are like, yes, set it up. And then they don't show. Whatever the reason may be, it could very well be a legitimate reason why she's not here. But unfortunately, it's hard to have this discussion. This was her idea. So I'm kind of trying to fill in and assume what she was trying to put across, but she's not here to really verify that's what she wanted to say. But basically, again, and on one of the reports, let me see if I can find that one. I don't know if the results suggest that increase, and this was back to the death investigation, the very first one that I'm going to link the article to. It says the results suggest that increased blood loss may retard the progression of decomposition. So we have a lot of trigger words here. May, could, possible. So there's nothing definitive. And in another report I read that blood loss had a negative impact on decomp. So that one kind of went against the other couple articles that were out there. So in other words, what they found in their study is that blood loss didn't affect the state of decomp at all. But again, that was the only one. The other 2 or 3 that I could find said that it was negligible. The only time that they could really see an increase effect on the decomposition and the slowing of decomp was if there was total exsanguination of all blood from the body. So, but we don't have access. They didn't give you access to the full report that they had written. So we can only go by with their little synopsis that they present. Russell states, if the bodies were stored for a period of time, it could explain the slowing down of decomposition. And that's true. Yes. But they would have to be stored in a cool area. It would have to be, because cold does slow down decomp. We do know that this is why we throw out so many of our quote unquote theories that others are constantly accusing us of. When we go according to the narrative, now the narrative states that the bodies were in that house and nobody saw them since before Christmas. Obviously, December 24th, earliest being, some of them say sooner. Now the bodies are discovered January 17th. That's at least 3 weeks. Now, according to the narrative, they were in this house, in that room for 3 weeks, in a room temperature of a constant 68 degrees. Yes, the back door was cracked and slightly ajar by a 1/4 inch. But when I spoke with the ME about that, he said that would have negligible effects at all because it wasn't opened all the way and the thermostat was set. And when the police officers came in, it was running. And not one police officer said that that house was cold. And not one of them said it was too hot. They just said they went, it was running, it was set at 68 for a constant. So the ambient temperature was roughly 68 degrees 24/7. Now, according to, let me see, what does Star say? Yeah, we don't know if it was like that for 3 weeks. Exactly, we don't. We don't know at all. So all we know is, again, we're going to go by according to the narrative. And the narrative is saying that they were there for 3 weeks. They're saying it was a constant temperature of 68. They're saying that it wasn't too hot, it wasn't too cold. So according to the narrative and according to the rate of decomp at a constant degree, 68 degrees, their body should have been, and not to be rude, crude, and offensive, but they would have been liquefying at that point. There would not be tissues that they could look at. There wouldn't be a discernible body you could tell. They wouldn't know David from Kamel. They would have to wait until the ME got in and looked at the skeletons. They would not have been able to walk in and go, oh, wow, we have, it would not have been discernible. And during autopsy, they would not have been saying the liver is intact, the heart is intact, the lungs are intact, the kidneys are intact. What the internal organs liquefy first. All of that would have been completely gone. So according to the narrative, the state of the bodies tell you the narrative is incorrect. Possibly someone messed with the temps. That is true. Anything's possible at this point. It's confusion to get us sidetracked and never figure out the time frame. Exactly. And then she says, yes, agree. So we cannot go. We're, as a group, we are constantly attacked and made fun of for saying that the narrative is wrong. You can laugh all you want to, you can attack all you want to, but the bodies are telling us the story. The bodies themselves are telling us they were not there for 3 weeks. They had only been there for a minimum of we know it was more than 1 day. Okay, so autolysis begins. It's the very beginning stages from days, say, 0 to day, let me toss it out there, 2 or 3. And then after that, the bloating stages begin maybe around day 4 or 5 to day about 7 or 10. But remember, as it goes on, the bloating gets worse and worse and worse. The skin color changes to black. Nobody had black skin. So the body decomposition tells you they were still in early decomposition. Those bodies were not there for 3 weeks. Not at all. Oh, where did it go? Here, let me see. Oops. Where did it go? Froze for me or anyone else. And we have a lot of people who think that that is a definite possibility. For a moment, I thought it was me. No, Star, a lot of people believe that maybe the bodies could have been frozen and then brought out later. Is that possible? Yeah, but the reason why I don't go that route, I leave it open as a possibility, but I don't go that route because we do not have access to the full medical report. If a body is frozen and then as it begins to thaw in a room, it's going to decompose pretty darn fast after it is frozen and it hits that air. And B, that would be visible under a microscope. They would be able to, as they're slicing into this and taking samples and looking at it, it freezes and damages the skin in a much different way. So that would be visible under a microscope. But we, as a general public, will never have access to that. That truly is just for a medical examiner. So we don't know. All we can say is it's a possibility. This one, was Ocha Basin. Hi there, could check the gas usage bill on gas consumption with average outdoor temp and possibly factor in the door being open, an anomaly is in gas usage and get a time frame before and after. Yes, and we've tried to do that. We've tried to get that information and nobody's getting it. Feeding it. Right after she said the group is constantly attacked. Oh, I'm not sure what that means. Sorry. I don't know what that means. Of course, slow to the game. I will say that. Working now. Also back. Yay. Okay, everybody's working. Thank you, Star. Okay, so everybody's trying to get, I guess your chat is kind of getting stuck. I think that's what it is. And I really wish Christie would have made it. I'm really sorry you did not. But again, Greg and I are going to be going over this in a recording. I believe we're set up to do it this weekend. But we will be covering all of this stuff in depth and going over it point by point. You froze for a minute. Oh, okay. Okay, I'm back. So yes, and again, so to narrow it all back down, I do not think that the blood loss was enough to cause a slowing down of the decomp. And according to what the ME said, and I don't know if Christie knows this or not, so I was going to talk to her about this when we got on here, because again, I really would have loved to have heard her thought process. She really does a lot of deep thinking. She looks at stuff in a different way. And so I don't want to speak for her. But I wanted her to understand that the ME himself explained in its partial mummification, they're not completely mummified, it's only partial, so it's only beginning. But again, he explained that because the hands and feet and the face doesn't have all of the muscle and stuff. It's very thin skinned. You have not a lot of fat, not a lot of muscle. And then keep cool, yes, frozen, I think not. So I don't know what else to say, because again, this was supposed to be a live stream with someone who had a bunch of questions, and then she wanted to bring up something about David's gun. She's been doing some research on the gun and the safety and how that works and doesn't work with a trigger. And yeah, we are back live again. Are they cutting me off? Jeez. It could be my internet. I've had problems with my internet, just so you guys know. Is that person no show? Yeah, she did not show up. I'm going to go check yeah, she didn't show at all. And, I don't know what to say. I just checked Facebook where I sent her the link, and she hasn't found it as of yesterday. Last night, I told her, and she knew where to go. I sent her the link, and then today I sent her the invite, and I let her know what time we were going to be coming on. And I told her it was a live broadcast because that's what she wanted. But nothing. So, okay. Russell says, if frozen, there would be cellular damage present. Thank you. That's what I was trying to spit out, but poorly did so. That is correct. So under a microscope, you would see the damage on the cellular level. Thank you, Russell. That is correct. But unfortunately, we can never get the ME's report. We get the autopsy report. And a lot of people don't understand that those are two separate reports. There's one written that is generally, we're talking pages and pages and pages thick. It's a thick report. That is not the same as the autopsy report. The autopsy report is kind of the synopsis of what they go through. And that is what is given out per FOIA. The medical examiner's report is never given out. I mean, you may have to go to court and try to sue to get that. Personally, I just don't think that's necessary, because with what we see and what we have, it's more than enough. We know what's going on. Sophia says, stay tuned Friday. Catherine and I have a new video dropping. We do. So tomorrow night, it will be a pre-recorded video, but our chat will be live. And on that, we are going to be covering the footprints. Sophia has done a lot of work on that, and I think you guys will really enjoy what she put together. Hot Sophia. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. And for those of you who don't know the joke, there is a particular person who likes to make fun of me in my videos, and they were like going, oh, hot mess, Catherine. I mean, just being rude, right? So Greg then takes it to a whole different level. He is like going, a hot mess. So then he's like, I want to be hot too. So then he made himself Hot Greg, and the joke is just now going, and now we have Hot Sophia. So, you know, it's an inside joke. We all laugh, and it's hysterical because they do it trying to, I don't know, make fun of us, and we're just rolling with it, having fun. It's just super, super funny. So I love Hot Sophia, the rando. Oh gosh. Oh yeah. If you guys join our live stream chats, you'll be in on the joke. It really is super super funny. But some of the things they come up with, it's quite entertaining, and they have quite the imagination. But other than that, I really don't know what else to say. There was okay, we went through the stage 1 autolysis. Oh, wait, let me see if I can show you guys this. I do want to cover this one last point. Because unless Christie has a really good reason, I'm not going to do this again. I mean, I'll go live, but I'm not going to set up a live with her. She can join us if we're ever live. Absolutely, please feel free. But I give everybody one shot, and if you don't make your one shot, it's like we just can't. We don't have time to do this and then not have people show. And again, I understand life. I understand people get busy and sometimes schedule changes and you forget. Trust me, I forget all the time. But at the same time, that was it. This was your chance. So please join us on our next videos. If you find a live, jump on board and give us what you got and share your thoughts. That's great. But this was my one time for you. So here, let me see if I can find, oh wait, Chrome tab. Again, I need to find out the article. What was I reading again? Oh, this one. Okay, that's it. I have to look at my tabs to find out which one it is. Okay. At least I thought I had. Oh, there it is. Dork. Sorry, guys. Sometimes I'm a dork, and I admit it. Okay. And this one is talking about how the specifics of how human decomposition and blood loss, how it affects. And when we come, and then it's going through the states of decomp: fresh, putrefaction, active, advanced, skeletonization, and then factors affecting the decomp process, which we see: temperature, oxygen, embalming, cause of death, burial. You just see all of that. And temperature, of course, the most significant factor by far affecting decomp of a body is ambient temperature, the temperature of the area in which the remains are found. The higher the temperature, the faster the decomposition occurs. This is the reason why funeral homes and other facilities place human remains into coolers. Doing so does not stop the decomp process altogether. However, it slows the pace. Of course, the oxygen availability, embalming, cause of death. Now, the cause of death can impact the rate of decomp. For example, a violent death that results in breaks in the skin can result in faster decomposition process. A person who dies from certain diseases may also leave a body that decomposes at a faster rate. And here's where this is where I'm saying it's like Christie came up with a really good idea, but there are too many factors to state that, yes, that the bodies were slowly, the process was slower due to blood loss. Because if it's a violent death, which we know they suffered a violent death, the breaks in the skin then cause the body to decompose faster, because as the breaks are in the skin now expose the body to more air and to more bacteria, and things start to break down faster versus just losing blood quickly. Now, trauma. A body that has endured trauma before death can decompose more quickly. This occurs because of tears and breaks in the skin and other damage to the surface of the body itself. Now, again, we know by the amount of blood on David's clothes that he suffered tremendous blood loss before. So, and we know that there had to have been something. He was bleeding somewhere because his blood is on the magazine on the gun, with the magazine of his gun, which is inside his gun. So somebody, whoever was handling it, David was bleeding prior to them taking that magazine and sticking it inside that gun. So again, on one hand, it shows that exsanguination can slow the process of decomp, but on the other hand, trauma and cuts, like blunt force trauma, there was an article I read that if it's a sharp force instrument, like, I don't know, I'm tossing out there, the article didn't say that, it just said sharp instruments, like a knife. then that could make you bleed out. And that may then, in the instance that they said, slow the rate of decomposition. But when you have blunt force trauma and major damage, it actually increases the rate of decomp. So due to their injuries, now where the bodies are actually even less amount of time? Were they there maybe only 4 or 5 days? Again, we don't know. But what we do, so all we can go by is what we see right now, and the best guess for these bodies being there. Again, we know it wasn't 0 days, but probably around anywhere from 4 to 7 days, and maybe on the output of 10 days. So they were still alive after the first of the year. Let me see. There's some other comments here. You can be hot too, Russell. Okay, everybody needs to create a hot name. Not watched in a while. What is the synopsis to date? Basically, we're kind of at the same place is what we're finding and what we're discovering with a lot of the breaking down of things. And we're able to prove, like, David's DNA is missing from virtually almost 90% of the samples of evidence taken and tested. His DNA is not on anything, not part of anything. His DNA is on 2 objects, and that is it. No, 3. I'm sorry. Possibly on a knife. Possibly they didn't have enough to really say for sure, but they couldn't rule it out. His DNA was found on the bullet in the attic. No blood. Christina, sorry, this is not to be mixed up with Christie, who's supposed to meet me here today. This is Christina. No blood on the bullet in the attic, but his DNA was on that. And then his blood was found on the magazine that was inside the gun. How did that happen? Oh, God only knows, but they don't explain that. And now, what Sophie and I have done for tomorrow, I hope you can join us for the premiere of the video we did about the footprints. I think you will find that extremely interesting. But on David's cell phone, we discovered his DNA is missing from his cell phone. We have Kamel's blood, but none of David's DNA on his own personal cell phone, which should have been all over that. So if somebody else was there, how come their DNA is not there? Have you ever heard of gloves? Hello. I mean, there's lots of ways to hide your DNA. So we are slowly tearing apart everything in the case, and by using the blood analysis reports and the photos and the autopsy reports, we've been able to show that, again, David's DNA is missing. We've shown that the bodies were not in the position where they were found. They were moved to those positions later. And I don't want to give away for tomorrow, so I'm going to zip my lip on that, but I hope you can join us because that will explain a lot of other stuff. I don't know. They're all answering each other here. David's movie trailer, Gray State, is coming to fruition. Yeah, it really, really is. And yep, it certainly is. And can you say torture? Yeah. When you look at the clothes, there are photographs that we received from a Tony Floyd. It's not his real name, her name. But they provided us photographs that were given to the quote unquote other side, but were not given to us, even though we requested them. So they are picking and choosing what they give to anyone who says David is innocent. But somebody did send us those photographs. And when you look at David's clothes, you clearly see it's like almost split down the middle. So on his whole left side, it's soaked with blood, all 3 shirts. So and head wounds bleed a lot, and not from a single gunshot wound to the head. This was something prior to that. Let's see, what's the next one? Name it. Feeling it hot. Feeding it hot. Oh my God, I love it. I love it. Oh, that is awesome. See, I love you guys. You guys are great. So again, I really wish Christie could have joined, and I'm sorry she didn't. But not angry, Christie, but we won't do this again. But I really hope you can join us for the next live and come up, because you have some fantastic ideas. And join us the next time we do a show. And definitely bring up what you found about the gun. I don't want to take that from her, because I think she had some pretty interesting things that she had to say. This mismatch of Kamel's clothes versus blood patterns is astounding too. It really, really is. Oh my gosh. Oh, okay. Since you brought that up, I'm going to do this. Okay, I'll make it quick, because I know you guys probably don't have all day, but I promise I'll make this quick. Okay, I probably won't make it quick. I'm sorry, I lied. But here we go. I want to go over this part because it's so important. Here we go. This is Kamel's autopsy, just so you guys can see. This is Kamel. Let me get it a little bit bigger so you can see it. Now we're going to go to this part right here, clothing and personal effects. As we know, she was wearing a brown sweater. We know how she was found was on her stomach, left arm under her body, right arm above her head. Her head is covered with a blanket, but most of it is missing. Oh my God. How does a head go missing with it being covered by a blanket and have it done by a dog? How did the dog get to her hand underneath her body? But here we go. The left, and it is stained with decompositional fluid and apparent blood. So she was wearing that sweater when that hand came off. And we know it didn't come off by the dog, because she is found on her stomach with her legs spread with her daughter between her. That is an on-purpose position. Someone positioned her that way on purpose, and it wasn't David. And so her hand was missing prior to her body placement, which means the dog didn't do this. Paleo is not the guilty party. So what happened? How did that hand come off, and how did that blood get on her sleeve if it's all underneath her? I'm going to come back to you guys and see, because I can't see any comments right now. Okay, where am I? Okay. So yeah, I have all day. The videos have done showing the clothes were eye-opening. Thank you, Crypt Rick. I mean, I know when I saw those clothes, it was kind of the same thing for me as when I very first saw the photo of the bodies on the floor. It literally took my breath away. Your breath catches and you're like, oh my God. Now this entire scenario starts just running through your head. And it's so sad. It's just so sad. It was the dog thing. Yeah, I know, right? That poor dog is always getting blamed. Can't believe after all these years, this is feeding it hot. Can't believe after all these years, you are still fighting so much incompetence in the staging. But at the same time, it is glaringly obvious the narrative is false. Thank you. Oh my gosh, yes. And it's like if you put aside a prejudgment and you just look at what's in front of you, I mean, there's got to be some serious cognitive dissonance going on in these people. They must be fighting themselves all the time, because it's right there. I'm off until Tuesday. Yay! We could stay on here a while. I think I'll change my name to Hot Frenchie. Oh my gosh. Oh God. Oh gosh, Russell, you crack me up. Oh my goodness. Yeah, you are so right. Feeding it hot. Lots of staging, incompetence or incompetence on purpose. Yes, 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 yes. Oh gosh, you guys are cracking me up today. Oh my goodness. The dog is famous. The dog is famous. That dog has just done so much. He's the miracle dog, I am telling you. Yeah, so I really wanted to bring that to you guys' attention. And again, I'm not sure what all Greg wants to cover, but he did say he wants to go through all of the autopsy reports with a fine-tooth comb. So I'm looking forward to that, to doing it again. It's been a few years. I think I really have only done, I think 3 videos, one on each of the autopsies, and I just kind of went over them. And that was at the beginning. And that was the reason why I went to Dr. Kelly, was because people were telling me I didn't know how to read an autopsy report. God, I've been at my medical experience is like 15 years plus. I think I know how to read a medical report, but just so to appease those who are like, oh, you don't know what you're saying. I'm like, okay, let me get a medical examiner to say, and he said the same thing. And I'm like, okay, there we go. Whatever. But we have to stop, I guess. I have to stop kowtowing to them. Was the air filter to the furnace looked at for anything? You know what? That's a good question. I don't think so. There's no report of it being pulled out. They didn't list it on any of the sheets where they took evidence from. There's no number on it. But you would think that they would want to, because what if something, with the air return, could it have sucked something in? That's a good question. It's possible. Yeah, like not that we know of. Dog eat the clothes, eat the hands, eat the head. What more would this dog do? Clean the blood on the bullet? Hide the hole in the roof? What more did the dog do? Oh, I know, right? This dog is amazing. And not only that, he managed to clean the blood off of the hole in the ceiling 8 feet up, too. This dog's a miracle worker. If we keep saying it was the dog, then case closed. This is what the narrative is. The rest is to close the deal. Exactly. Oh my gosh, yes. They want nothing better than to have a nice, clean finish, because they know they can't explain away what they see. So it was automatically the dog. But the fur that's in the house and that's on the clothes doesn't match the dog in the house. Paleo, yes, had some little bit of white fur on his tummy, but that dog is mostly brown and black. And what is all of the dog fur that I found on those clothes? All of it was white, short, and wiry. When you look at Paleo, that is not the type of dog fur he has. The dog did everything but solve the case. Oh my God, that's so true. It's crazy. Everything they can't explain is the dog's fault. True. I mean, so true. And oh gosh, you guys are amazing. So for convenience for them, it's like they walk in, a dog is at the scene. Now, were there evidence of some gnaw marks on some of those? Yeah, there. You can see on one of the skull pieces that I could see where it looked like there might have been some teeth marks on the end, but not on the straight edges of the same skull piece. You see straight edges. I'm sorry, a dog doesn't chew in straight edges. People don't rip things off in straight edges. Decomp doesn't make your scalp fall off with straight edges. That again will tell you that someone else was there after the bodies were after they were deceased, but they don't even mention that. Instead, they're like going, "Oh, well, okay, there's some things here, and there was a dog." We're not saying the dog; it just says as evidenced by animals scavenging, but that makes me wonder, do they really think that it was Paleo, or do they know that it was another dog? Because they didn't test any of the feces and they did not induce vomiting on Paleo. They didn't do anything to prove that it was Paleo who did the scavenging. That also makes me wonder. Okay, let's see, where are we at? Let's see. Okay. The filter, the layer of dust, etc., can be layered to time, frame, and change of the air. There's a lot of, and that's a great point. There's probably a lot of forensic information they could have retrieved from that air filter. If we tell them there is no pool, there is no pool of blood, they will say the dog did not have any drinking water. Oh my God, yes. Yes, that is exactly what they say. And although and there's no evidence of when they spray any of the floor, and not even visual evidence of a dog licking up any of the blood on the floor. We see blood spatter on that floor. And it was obviously fresh, and the dog was there when this took place. And if the dog is going to be triggered to lick up blood, why is all that blood spatter still there? And why do we not see anywhere evidence of a dog licking blood off that floor or off any surface? There's no evidence whatsoever. Yeah, dog hair DNA test. I really wish they would have done that. That would have been the smart thing to do. They did not do the tests on the dog poop. Nope, they did not. Yes, and he was thirsty. He sucked it right out of the carpet. Right? You have this huge area rug on the floor that shows no, there's one, okay, I can't say no because there's one teeny tiny spot of where it was either blood or decomp that went through one teeny tiny section of that area rug. But the rest of it, where the bodies were, where these shots were supposedly, where they were supposedly shot and killed, there is no pooling of blood. There's no blood on that rug at all. There's areas of decomp where we show in one of our videos where it looks like it makes the Mason, was it compass and square? I draw that out on my video because that caught my eye. I'm like, whoa, what is this? That does not happen organically. That was done on purpose. Somebody put that either with dried blood or with decomp fluid. They made that design on that rug. But do they even stop to look at that? They know damn well by looking at that rug that did not happen organically. Somebody did that. And it was after they were dead. Who the was in that house? Sorry about the language. I'm pissed. I'm going to get pissed now. Yep, Deb, pure insanity. They want us to believe such stupid ideas. Exactly. No dog prints in the blood either. Exactly, hot Sylvia. There are no dog prints anywhere in that house. Now, if he was stepping in pools of blood, if he was stepping in and getting decomp and anything on his little paws, it would be all over that floor. It would be on their clothes. It would be on the couch. It's not there. I agree. It is ridiculous. Yep, there's no evidence because the dog does not want blood or hands, but dog food. And I know a lot of, and that's how I feel. But to throw this out there, to be fair, I've spoken with a few vets via email or dog professionals. Maybe they were vets. It's so long ago now. I still have their emails. But they said that animals will eat a body over their food at first because it kind of, that's why I made that comment. It triggers something in their little brain. However, when paleo is found, he is thin. They note that he is thin. He has dog food there, open bag of dog food there. And the body, so if he's thin, he is not sustaining himself on human flesh. So that tells me what animal did the damage to some of the damage to these bodies. What animal did it? Because again, if we're looking at the evidence provided, it does not appear that it was paleo. I have never seen a small little dog have a thirst for blood or hands. Once the dog tastes it, forget it. The dog won't eat or continue tasting it. Okay, see? And I don't know. I don't have enough experience with animals, so I'm going to take your word for it. I have no clue, but you're bringing up an excellent point. And okay, it's called particular matter. Okay, Russell, clarify. Particulate? Are you talking about particulate matter? Clarify, because I'm sure you're giving me the words I'm missing, but help me realize what I missed. Great point, Sophia. How come there's only David fingerprints but no dog? Very strange. The killers forgot to use the dog. Yeah. And I think the only place where they could find David's fingerprints were on the magazine, and I think they found one print on the notebook. Now, this is his notebook, And they both had this notebook for years. So between David and Kamel, using this notebook multiple times, they only managed to find one print of David's. Really? Interesting. I've always found that interesting. Good vibes. Hey, Greg. Oh, no, you need to have your hot Greg name. Oh, my goodness. Yep, that doesn't make sense. Hello, hot Greg. They're hot people. Yep, this is the hottie chat. Left middle fingerprint on the notebook. Thank you. And that was the only one, correct, Greg? I believe that was the only print that they found. Hey, Greg, we have a new hot member. Hot, hot, hot. How come the dog did not eat the note left on the table? Dogs love to eat anything if they are starving. Well, I don't know what note on the table that I don't know about, because I think the paper was actually in the room on a desk. I don't know of any. You guys are running. Oh, in the vent. Thank you for clarifying. Yes, there would have been particulates on the filter in the vent. Thank you, Russell. See, this is why I have my brother. When I lose those words, he gives them to me. Yes, that's the only one they could tie to David. Now, isn't that interesting? His notebook, he's using it to write notes, and they can only find one that they could tie to David on that notebook. Oh, the so-called suicide note, that was actually found on the screen on the laptop on the island. And it just stated, "I have loved you all with all my heart," written on the notepad document or notepad program, but no proof of anybody. They can't prove who wrote that. We have no idea who wrote that. Wait, the dog wrote Smithel. Open the nice new version. Yes. It was the dog. Was good to see Russell on Cass's show yesterday too. Yes, it was. In case anybody misses it, I should put a link down there. Cass, I guess, has a new, I don't know if it's new or not. I just found her channel because Russell sent me the link, but did a great interview with Russell yesterday. And so if you get a chance, I'll try to put a link down below. If not, I'll pin it in the comment section, and you guys need to check that out. The dog wrote the note on the laptop too. Yeah, see his little paw prints. That's why they couldn't find fingerprints on the laptop. It was the paws. They were looking for the wrong prints. You guys are awesome. Oh man. Too funny. Okay, and I've checked again, and Christie has not made it. She did not even log into Facebook to get the link. So again, I'm sorry you missed it. The dog built the house with belly construction. Oh God. Oh gosh, the dog paid the bills too. Yep, he went through all the mail. He went out. He threw out the trash. He built the house. Oh God. Oh man. You guys are on a roll. Oh my gosh, that is hilarious. That's me. Oh God, my eyes are watering. That's hilarious. He made the 911 call too. Oh my gosh, that is so funny. But okay. Hey, it's Derek. Hi, Derek. Oh, was there accumulated mail in the mailbox? That one can tell how many days worth. The post office, if they notice like weeks worth or more of mail piling up, may interact. There was mail in the mailbox. I don't believe it was too much. I don't even know what the Greg, please, or Sophia, because I know there's photos of the mail that was there. Was it about a week's worth of mail? So, but it is interesting to note that the male person, I don't know if it was a man or a woman, so I'll say the male person, never said anything, never made comments about, hey, it's piling up here, they're on vacation or whatever. And I would assume that eventually they would say something if 3 weeks had gone by and they had noticed mail piling up, but no, hold mail because you're going on vacation. Because most people, if you go on vacation and you know you're going to be gone an extended period of time, you go to the post office and you put a hold on your mail. So they actually hold it at the mail facility. So I would think if, same thing with newspaper, but I guess the particular newspaper they have is only delivered periodically. But yeah, you would have thought that the mail person would have said, okay, this is piling up. It's been 3 weeks. But that never happened. Okay, it was half full. Oh, here we go. Possibly a week's worth. Nice handle. There are photos of the mail in the crime scene photos. Yeah, so when in those photos, you'll see where, yeah, the mailbox itself is like maybe has half of it stacked, but we don't know how much mail was received in one day. Sometimes I can get like this much junk mail in a day, and then other times it takes 3 weeks to get that much junk mail. So I think it just all depends. Oh, wait, I missed one. Okay. Greg says there should have been 2 more This Week newspapers in the mailbox, and there was not. There are photos of mail. Okay. We have the photos of the mailbox. It's not too full. And it's a conspiracy between the dog and the medical examiner. Right? It all is. Who's the dog and the medical examiner? But yeah, so that's really all I had was, and I just really wish that Christie would have joined today. But you guys have made this so much fun. So thank you for jumping on board and filling in when our guest couldn't make it. Again, I don't know her reasons, but I'm a person who reiterates a lot. So to reiterate that this was the one and only time, Christie, I gave you this chance. But please, 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 please feel free to join us when we do other live streams. Jump on board. And again, you guys, because she truly did have some really good insights and some different ways of seeing things in the crime scene, not only in regard to the decomp process, but also the gun. So I really hope she comes forward and does that. And that could be, did Dan Jr. pick up the mail when he stopped by? And that's a possibility. Awesome. Thanks. It was nice chatting with all you hot peeps. Look forward to tomorrow. Okay, so thank you guys. I'm going to go ahead and close this down because again, I'll just be mumbling and keep repeating the same thing over and over. You don't need to hear that. We've been on here an hour already, but thanks for joining. And let's see. Yes, she did have some really good points about the gun. And that's why I was really hoping she would be here today, because I was hoping she would point that out. But maybe she'll join us on the next live stream that you do, Greg. So we'll keep our fingers crossed. Definitely send her an invitation when that pops up. And tomorrow, Derek, tomorrow's we will be premiering. Now, it's a pre-recorded video Sophia and I did last night, but we're going to be premiering that on this same channel, on my YouTube channel tomorrow. So chat will be live where we're going over the footprints. And wait until you see what Sophia did a lot of work. I did some live demonstrations with some stuff, but really, you got to see this. It'll be worth watching. Looking forward to hearing more. And Greg, we still need to do the video. Sorry, I'm losing my voice, guys. But we need to do the video on the autopsies too. That I'm really looking forward to. Yes, a new video, Derek. And okie dokie. Okay, so tomorrow night, I think I set it for 7 o'clock Mountain Time. And we hope to see all of you guys there. Thank you so much for dropping in. You guys are amazing, funnier than snot. And thanks for making me laugh so hard I cried and making me talk so much I'm losing my voice. So thanks. You guys all have a great day, and I'm going to close it out. Bye.